In this topic, we're going to look at US customary units conversion, and we're going to focus here on the units that deal with weights. Now let's look at our objectives. We're going to first look at the customary units of weight. We're going to look at converting from smaller to larger units, and also we'll look at converting from larger to smaller units. Now let's look at the customary units of weight. We have the ounce, which is the smallest unit, the pound, and then the ton. Now let's look at the conversion rate. So we'd see that 16 ounces make a pound, 2000 ounces make a ton. So one approach to take here is to look at this as a ratio. So we can say, using ratios, that we have a ratio of 16 to 1 for ounce to pound. We can also say we have a 2000 to 1 ratio for pound to ton. And we're going to use this in our next set of examples. So we're looking at converting smaller units to larger units. How many pounds are there in 12 ounces? So we know that 16 ounces make 1 pound. So we have 16 to 1 ratio for ounce to pound. And then we have 12 ounces. So we're looking for the number of pounds. So we're going to look at equivalent ratios or equal ratios. So here we have 16 to 1 is equal to 12 to, let's call this x. So now we're going to create a fraction here. So we have 16 over 1 is equal to 12 over x. So we're going to use the cross product approach here. And so that gives us 16 times x is equal to 12 times 1. And now we divide both sides by 16. And so this crosses out itself. So we are going to simplify this fraction here. So 12 divided by 4, we have 3. 16 divided by 4, we have 4. So that means that 12 ounces is equal to 3/4 of a pound. And let's go ahead and convert this to a decimal. So we have 3 and then we have 4 here. We put it 0 because 3 is less than 4. And then we got 30. 30 divided by 4, we have 7 groups of 4 in 30. 7 times 4, we have 28. We subtract. We have 2. Then we bring down another 0. 20 divided by 4, we have 5. 5 times 4, we have 20, and then we have no remainder. So also 12 ounces is equal to 0.75 pounds. Next example, how many pounds are there in 72 ounces? So we have, again, 16 to 1. So this is ounces to pound. Now we're going to use our equal ratio technique, which is going to tell us that 16 to 1, this is ounces to pound, is equal to 72 to x. And our approach is going to be to convert this to a fraction. So 16 over 1 is equal to 72 over x. Let's go ahead and use our cross product approach. And so we have 16 multiplied by x is equal to 72 multiplied by 1. We divide both sides by 16 to isolate the x, or to keep the x by itself. So this crosses out. And now we have 72 divided by 16. So we have, let's reduce these fractions. So let's divide by 2. We have 8, and then we have 36. We can divide by 4 here. We have 2, and then we have 9. So now we can say that 72 ounces is equal to 9/2 pounds, which we can also say is 4.5 pounds. And let's do the decimal thing here. So we have 72, actually, no, we have 9 and 2, we have 9 and 2. 9 divided by 2, we have 4 times. 4 times 2, we have 8. We subtract, we have a remainder of 1. 1 divided by 2, we can't really do that easily. So we're going to put a decimal point there. And because we do that, we can bring down a 0. 10 divided by 2, we have 5. 5 times 2, we have 10. We subtract and we have no remainder. So 72 ounces is also the same as 4.5 pounds. Now we're going to convert larger units to smaller units. How many ounces are there in 3 pounds? Let's start again with our ounce to pound ratio. So we have 16 ounces to 1 pound. Now we're going to try the equal ratio approach. So we have 16 to 1 is equal to x to 3. So we're going to create a fraction next. So 16/1 is equal to x over 3. Now let's perform our cross product methodology. So we have 1 multiplied by x is equal to 16 multiplied by 3. So 16 multiplied by 3 is going to give us, let's do it right here on the side, 16 multiplied by 3. 6 times 3, we have 18. You write 8, you bring up 1. 1 times 3 is 3, plus 1, we have 4. So x multiplied by 1 is x. This is going to give us 48. So what this tells us is that 3 pounds is equal to 48 ounces. Now we have how many ounces are there in 2 tons. Now this is quite interesting. So let's get our ratio together. We have 16 to 1. So this is ounces to pounds. And we also have 2,000 to 1. This is pounds to ton. Now we have several approaches we can take with this. We can take a 2-tiered approach first, which is we're going to convert tons first to pounds, and then we're going to convert pounds down to ounces. So let's try that approach first. So we have 2,000 pounds to 1 ton equal to x pounds to 2 tons. So we have 2,000/1 is equal to x over 2. So we're going to cross product here, and we have 2,000 times 2 is equal to x times 1. So 4,000 is equal to x. So what this simply tells us is that 2 tons is equal to 4,000 pounds. Now what we're going to go to is, so this right here is going from tons to pounds. Now we're going to go from pounds to ounces. So we have 1 pound is 16 ounces. This is going to give us 2,000 pounds. Actually, we have 4,000 pounds here. Okay, so our ratio is 2,000 pounds. We have 4,000 pounds because that's what we have from this first part of the steps that we're following. So 4,000 pounds to X. So now we have 1 over 16 is equal to 4,000 over X. Let's go ahead and cross product. Now we have 1 multiplied by X is equal to 16 multiplied by 4,000. So 1 multiplied by X is going to give us X. 16 multiplied by 4,000, so I'm just going to multiply 16 by 4. 6 times 4, we have 24. We put a 4, carry up a 2. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 2, that's 6. So we have 64, and then we have 3 zeros. So 64,000. So what this means to us is that 4,000 pounds is equal to 64,000 ounces. So therefore, 2 tons equal to 64,000 ounces.